is that you guys have formed a bond and a relationship that I think goes above and beyond punching a clock from 9 to 5, because you guys are all locked together at the hip in this process.
Yeah, and that's the only way that this finds success. I think when your leadership group is tied together at the hip, like you just used that expression, it's going to lead to a trickle-down effect, and it's going to spread throughout the organization. And our vision for this has got to be lived out for everybody that's involved, and it's got to then result in the output that we wanted to. But being in the bumper with these two has surpassed any expectations of myself when we started back in February. It's been an absolute joy to build to date, but it's not in this football game.
Yeah, I think you got to go back. Let's give our owner, Sean Cox, a ton of credit, because it was his vision that really put this together. And I remember when we first did the meeting, actually were in the process of interviewing our next head coach, and obviously Liam was the clear favorite at the end of the process, the guy we wanted. But as he initially laid it out to me, he's like, you know, the role that I'm in as EVP, that we're going to have a general manager, we're going to have him at the time, we're going to hire a head coach. And I remember him saying the key line is like, and my expectation is the three of you to make all big strategic football decisions together. And immediately in my mind, it's like, okay, you better find three individuals that are willing to have some humility, value communication, value relationships, and really operate and see things the same way. You know, we all have our own perspective, but at the same time, we're aligned in where we want to go. And that's been the fun thing for me, because you don't know until you get into the bunker together, as I said. But I remember in the interview with Liam, the first 30 minutes, I'm like, this is the guy that needs to lead our organization. This is the individual who needs to be our head coach, can set the vision, you know, lead 53 guys to battle on a weekly basis instead of standing and holding the line to them. And then as we started working together, we had a ton of communication as he was building his staff, a lot of late nights, and then we were tasked immediately. It's like, you guys go hire a general manager. Obviously, Mark Landon, Sean Kahn, all involved in the process. And Liam and I spent a bunch of time talking about what do we want this relationship to look like, and what type of individual do we want to join the organization. And the fun thing is, again, much like my interview with Liam, as Liam and I sat down and interviewed James through a 3-hour virtual interview, 4-hour virtual interview, like both of us walked away, hands down, no question, like, this is the guy we want to build this with, we want to go forward with on a daily basis. And then it's the time spent. You have to be purposeful. Or at some level, of course, we spend a lot of time together because it's long hours, but then we talk about it. We're purposeful, going into each other's offices, eating together, talking together, having honest conversations. Because it's not like we agree on every single thing all the time, but you have to be willing to have those hard conversations. And then when it's all said and done, we walk out of the room and say, we all believe we're going at it and we're going to go to the end of the deal.
What's up, y'all?
But that's purposeful. It doesn't just happen. But boy, I feel lucky. Because I got two guys I'm going to work with every day and have a lot of fun. And it's a lot of work, but trust me, we have a lot of fun together.
And part of relationships that you guys have, there's another relationship that's incredibly important, Liam. And that's the relationship between coach and coaching staff and the players that they work with day in and day out. How important is that for you and your coaching staff to establish that in year one?
At the core of coaching is teaching. And both my parents were teachers, and how much I value the impact that you can make on young people's lives, both on and off the field. So that's where it starts. It has to start with the relationship and investing time, resources into these players to show them, look, we actually have your best interests in mind. Yes, we want to win games. That is the #1 goal. But we want every player to have success. We want every player to get paid and reach another contract and help their families. That is the #1 goal. And so before we can earn their trust, we have to invest time into these players. And I think our staff has done a phenomenal job being able to relate with these players. You know, you guys know with the transfer portal and NIL, it's going to continue to be a different landscape in the college football and heading into the NFL. And you have to be able to relate to these players in a different way than maybe a few years ago. That's the reality of it. But the best players want to be coached hard. They want the truth, they want honesty, and if you do that for them, and if you can help make them better, you're going to get a good performance from that player.
You used the term there, and I think that this is a great conversation, and this is really for all three of you, because you used the word invest. And I've been around the National Football League since I was 21 years old. I've had a great opportunity to see and talk to a lot of people from other organizations, and I don't know if there's an owner in the National Football League like the one that we have, because Tony, you can vouch for this because you're the one that's in charge of facilities and everything else. I don't know of one coach that's ever been here that's ever asked the ownership for something to help improve the organization or improve the facilities that has ever been told no. To me, that impresses the heck out of me for us to be able to have an owner like that who is committed to our community.
What's up? Welcome to the live. We're at the Jacksonville pregame.
You see what is happening across the state.
That's good. If y'all know anything about football, type of one in the comments.
What we're going to end up with in 2028 is one of the best stadiums in the NFL. All the development. That is all spearheaded and led by Sean Collins. His vision. And then you just go down to the football side of it. We have this beautiful facility. We have every resource we need as a football.
Been here on my live or in Jacksonville at the stadium?
And I think one of the things that really drives me here since day one is that it is now our job to go win football games. Because the only return on investment that Sean is looking for is success on the ground. And so not only do we have an owner that has invested and believes and is giving the three of us a great opportunity and our players an opportunity to go fulfill our dreams and play football. I mean, let's call it what it is. Not like
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know anything about football.
Coach, watch football, be around football, do the thing we want.
I know nothing about football, but I know people love football, so we're gonna record so other people that can't see it can.
He's on the phone with us all the time, wanting to get support, and the only thing he wants is to win football games. So really the return we're looking for is for our fans to have a great experience in the stadium, to be entertained, have fun, to cheer, to be proud of the product we're working on, and ultimately for all
You wanna see me?
They can come to this game every Sunday and know. I want to say we're going to win every
That's
game.
good.
But I think the one thing that I've seen so far in camp, and again, Liam and his staff are coming credit is like, hey, this is the style of football we're playing, and there's no compromise. And so we believe that we'll stay the course. What you'll see on Sunday is a team that is competitive, that is tough, that is physical, and plays for 60 minutes. And the return we're hoping for is that for our fans and for our homeowners, Sean and his family is a lot more wins.
I want to stay on the subject that you brought up there, the new stadium. You guys excited for a new stadium? I am too, and I think it's going to be a heck of a process, but you guys have had the opportunity to meet the Jaguars president, Mark Lamping, who really this is kind of his charge that he's leading.
It's Daly's place. It's the Jaguars football stadium.
A stadium up in New Jersey. I think it's exciting, Tony, to have a guy like Mark Lamping at the helm of the Jaguars, the team president, to be able to have the vision of what's going to be happening here in this stadium come, I guess, what, 2028, right? That's
It
gonna
is.
be
It can be.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think we talk a lot about the three of us and the job that's in front of us.
They do concerts here. They have the football games here and everything. So yeah, it's pretty fun. It's cool.
In our business side, led by Mark Lamping. And I think I know all three of us were very fortunate to have Mark as the president. Not just
You want to see my face? Why? Just vibe, twin. Check out my channel. You can see.
It's so exciting. The process is going to be a couple of years, but still be able to play here for a few years. And hopefully be back.
Check out my channel and subscribe while y'all at it.
It's also individual. has had a role like Jake in baseball, understands what it takes to build a team and what it means to win games and win, trying to win championships. So have a partner on the business side like Mark Hampton, not only to support us, giving us a great facility and having great sponsors and great experience for our fans, but also understanding the task that we're going to do, what we're trying to build here. I don't think we can ask for more and better partners.
Thank you. Y'all sub up. Thank you.
Love your running backs. I think you got a
Thank you.
That guy over there is the one I think that is instrumental in helping create that room where it is. And oh, by the way, you got a pretty good one on the practice squad too. It was fun to watch in the last preseason game.
Thank you for the like.
How important is that running back room and the offensive line being where they need to be to help your quarterback Trevor Lawrence?
No one boo.
What you just said is when you can run the football, you're able to dictate terms. You're
Thank
able
you.
to balance the game. You're able to help not only the quarterback but the defense. When you can run the football effectively, efficiently, create explosives in the run game, you control the clock, you keep the defense off the grass, and you help the quarterback to be able to get maybe better coverages to go throw the ball and play action. So to have the depth that we have in the running back room right now is super important for our success. Last year, we used a ton of 21 personnel, which was 2 running backs on the field at the same time. What's the pony true fullback? When you say that used to be the pony back, was the extra halfback. So bear with me here. It's a little football terminology, I guess, but we got backs that can do some different things. And some guys are better at other runs, some guys are better at catching the football, and some guys are better at pass protection. So we've got to be very diligent with the way that we give those guys carries, touches, reps, packages, to be able to get them all involved in the field. And, the O-line has a lot to do with it. And I think that group has continued to get better. They're trying to play the game on the defensive side of the line of scrimmage as often as we can. And keeping Trevor on 2 feet is a huge task. And they're up for it, though. They've done a great job so far.
This one's for James. So, with all the roster maneuverings that you just kind of went through, is there an area that you're just not satisfied? That you're going to continue to work the phones? And I'm not asking for specifics, but is that a never-ending process as a general manager?
Straight up, we're never satisfied. And I'll tell you this, good teams can be built over the course of an off-season. It's the great teams. It's the great teams that evolve over the course of a regular season. So we're not done yet. The job continues and it's never ending. We're happy where we're at right now. We feel great at the end of the regular season. And the way that this team, over the course of the last 4 weeks of training camp, has built up an identity, one that we feel like is pointing towards physical and mental toughness. It showed itself throughout the course of the preseason for our fans to see on the big screen, but we can't wait for that to carry over into the regular season, and by no means are we done making moves, knowing that when they present themselves, we're going to attack them. We're going to be open to them, and we're never going to just settle.
All right, so for Liam, I was watching, you guys watch The Hunt, the Jaguar show? So I'm watching it, and I've always believed that everybody's got to have a little edge. And Liam, you use that term with your football team a lot. Explain to the fans what you mean by edge and what you're looking for from a player when it comes to that term.
Yeah, ultimately, when you get together in the spring, there's no paths. You're really, it's such a learning phase, and everybody was starting from, ground zero with the new systems on the offense and defense. Fast forward to training camp, and you're trying to challenge the players to create and find an identity. Ultimately, us as coaches can only say and do so much about creating your edge and who our team is going to truly be. They have to take it over. They have to look at themselves in the mirror each and every day, both individually and collectively, to figure out what is both my individual edge going to be as a player versus my teammates and versus my peers around the rest of the NFL. Collectively, as a unit, the linebackers group, what is their edge going to be? What is that going to look like? Offense, defense, special teams. What does all of that truly look like from an edge standpoint? How are we consistently finding a competitive edge over our teammates and over our peers that we're going to play against each and every week? And so the challenge was, if each and every one of us in the building wakes up every day with a challenge of finding, creating, and sharpening our edge, that as a collective, as our team, that will make us better each and every day.
So, as a fan base, are you guys excited to see maybe the first two-way player in a long time? I'm excited. And James,
Welcome back. You were the only one for a minute.
Sean Conn has used that term many times before in the past, and that's the term bowl. I would use that term on the trade that you orchestrated on draft day, bowl. Take us through that conversation that the three of you guys had before the trigger was pulled on that.
Yeah, it wasn't something that we had intended for when I first took the job as general manager. That evolved over the course of our conversations through pro free agency, once we started involving the coaching staff in the draft prep, and seeing what options may present themselves along the way. It wasn't until around the time
Yeah,
we
sub up,
ended
sub up, sub up,
at
sub
the
up.
owners' meetings in the spring, when we began really shaping our minds around, we should just check and ask if this is even within the realm of possibility to get ourselves in a position to draft and select Travis Hunter. And ultimately, we found a partner in that, and we're extremely excited about the opportunity to attack this opportunity. It's a bold approach to give someone to do what Travis is attempting to do. He's attacking it with everything he's got and putting himself in a position to get on the grass on both sides of the field at different points. What it looks like in week 1 may look different in week 2, week 3, week 4, so on and so forth. And obviously, on game day, when you're talking about the active game day roster, you have either 47 or 48 players that you're allowed to have in a jersey. And the fact that you've got someone who can go both ways.
I'm glad you're back.
It is a math changer. It is legitimately a math changer.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
And that is an advantage. It's an edge, right? We just talked about it. And we look forward to weaponizing that, sharpening that over the course of the season, knowing that the beginning of it may look different than the end of it, and everything in between can be some version of game.
Y'all might not get through the whole thing. My phone's about to die.
Spend energy on in the lead up to playing in Jacksonville.
We gonna try.
And maybe you're trying to manage all of that. That can't be an easy task.
That's been the fun part and also challenging part of when we did finally make this decision. It had to be fully everybody on board within the whole organization. So from obviously the personnel side, the coaching side, the support staff, athletic training, sports science, strength and conditioning, nutrition, everybody had to be involved because we've never done this before. None of us have. For Travis, it's kind of normal.
Yeah.
And he's been used to this. But for us as coaches,
Can't really see him, but yeah.
support staff and personnel, it's the logistics of it that
Cardi
was a bit of a
gay?
challenge
I don't
at
know.
first to
No
create
comprende.
his daily schedule versus it's going to be a little bit different than the rest of our players. And making sure that he has touch points and meetings on both sides of the ball every day so that he doesn't ever get behind on one side of the ball. And,
No
once we
comprende.
get into practice, early on it was one side or the other, and now it's just become kind of the norm where he plays on both sides of the ball during practice and goes from one side to the other, puts a penny on, throws it off, and goes and keeps competing. So it's a work in progress. We're learning every day, but we're excited about it.
James, I bet you the Celtics are two-way guy.
Lo siento.
There's no doubt. We probably gonna have to find a different jersey because I don't know if that's fit for MVP, but
De nada.
same thing. You're right, man.
Charles Band, you know? I didn't want to take Jeff's job, though, so, you know, you had that replacement plan out there.
I was a pretty good tight end in high school. Didn't have very good hands, but
I'm not sure I had quite the speed to play defensive end. I'd have to be like, I don't know, I remember the technique.
Going back to the funny story, I'll never forget this, and you guys haven't heard the story yet before. So it's 1995, where we're literally walking with construction helmets to get to the area where we ran because of the construction that was ongoing in the stadium. And so the first time we go out there to run, when the rookies, were there after the draft, I'll never forget, we're doing running and we're doing like 100-yard dashes. And it's the offensive
See you later.
linemen that were in like the shift number 3, okay? And all of a sudden I'm running, thinking I'm pretty fast and athletic, and all of a sudden I got this big dude, this rookie, second overall pick in the draft, keeping pace with me, and I was like, what?
For years I was scared, I didn't want to be a bust, so I figured I'd better do everything right.
All right, we got some great fan questions. And this one is for all of you. It's from James Russo, who's been a season ticket member for 5 years now. And the question is this: as a new leadership team, how do you guys feel heading into the season?
Listen, I'm excited. I'm excited every time this year we're going into the season. I think everyone has a lot of hope. Being in this role, I'm probably even more excited because being a part of the day-to-day in the league, working with these guys, seeing what Liam and his staff have done with our football team and the demand that they've asked and they put on our players and how they respond, the physicality of our camp and how our players respond to that. I mean, it's no secret. I'm a big believer this game is a physical, violent game, and you have to play that way to be successful. And to play that way, you have to practice that way. And it's going back to the interview where you leave interview, most offensive players I've been around, the first thing they want to talk about is the quarterback and throwing the ball over the yard. In the first 15 minutes, he was talking about offensive line play and establishing a physical mindset. And I loved it back then. I love it more now because I see it on the field. Because of that, I can't wait to see our guys go out there. Because if you play physical, you play with a violent mindset, play in and play out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Good things will happen if you play that way. And I believe our team has proven they can do that. I'm not saying it's been perfect. I can't wait to see what it looks like. But the one thing I'm confident in is because what Liam has done and the guys James has brought into this organization, that you're going to see a violent, physical group of guys on the field playing the game of football the right way. That's what we want to do.
Question, because this is for you, Liam, comes from Cheryl Johnson, a 2-year season ticket member. She says, and asks this: what is the overall strategy for keeping Trevor healthy this season? Got your crystal ball?
Well, look, that's right. It comes down to the balance of what we talked about before. Being able to run the football creates balance, keeps the defense off balance, where they can't just tee off on you. Every time you're standing in the shotgun, they know it's a pass. For us, it's all about balance, the illusion of complexity, trying to run the same plays, but to the defense, they look very different. And so, balance, and honestly, on the defensive side of the ball, we got to turn it over a little bit more to help our quarterback with short fields, to be able to get more opportunities throughout the game. But at the end of the day, it comes down to, for the quarterback, DTA, we call decision, timing, and accuracy. So much of the game of playing the quarterback position is rhythmic and getting the ball out on time and in rhythm. And he's got to trust those guys in front of him, and he has to trust the receivers and tight ends to be at the right spot at the right time, exactly when they're supposed to be there, with no gray area. It is you're either there or not. You're either made the play or you didn't. And that's how it has to be in order to help Trevor become the best version of himself.
And I'm excited to see that best version of himself this year. This one is for you, James. Okay, you can't pick the selling here, okay, with this question. This question comes from Ryan Barkey, 18 years, a season ticket member. If you could have one former Jaguar in his prime for this year, who would it be?
You got some voters getting along? Let me hear a little about Canadian. I'm getting some shout out. I see that. I think, you know what? I'll go with Brad. Because we've been talking about establishing the run, having a physical mentally tough team. And I think he embodies that to the fullest extent. That's an easy answer as I see the fan base scream his name, raise his jersey into the sky. I think that is a very clear description of someone who would fit the bill for what we're running up in the current moment.
Well, disappointed you didn't pick me. Just kidding. Paychecks are a lot better nowadays too, right? That would be a bad idea. All right, this is for you, Liam. This is from Lori Towers, 21-year season ticket number. 21 years. Outstanding. Outside of the Jaguars, who is a trusted advisor? And what is your biggest challenge as head coach?
I think, somebody that I worked for in Los Angeles for 4 years that, got me my start in the National Football League, Sean McVay, the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams, is been a mentor to me throughout this profession, helped get me into the NFL, gave me my first opportunity in the National Football League. He taught me so much about not only offense, defense, special teams, but about the way that we want to communicate with people, the standards that we talk about, the performance, everything that we want to try to do. He's been able to be a mentor for me so much. And then my dad as well. I played for my dad in high school. He was a college coach. He's at every single practice. He's in all the meetings every day with us here at the Miller Electric. And he's going to let us know if something's wrong. So he's absolutely been somebody that I've been able to listen to and lean on now. And the hardest part of the job, man, it's probably going from being a coordinator where you're really dealing with one side of the ball to obviously becoming the head coach where you're responsible for the offense, defense, special teams, an entire coaching staff. Absolutely could not do this job if it wasn't for these two guys. Their ability to connect with people in the building, the support that Tony has provided from that standpoint, James' vision for what this truly looks like with the players that we're bringing into this organization and how we're coaching them on a daily basis. So going from being a coordinator to a head coach, there's multiple challenges, but that's probably the number one.
A quick follow-up that I have of that. The foundation of wanting to run the football, what kind of offense did your dad Tim run when you were growing up?
I was a lucky enough quarterback to be playing in a wing T wishbone offense in which we threw the ball maybe 6 times a game and we ran it about 40 times a game, and it was buck, sweep, trap, and belly. So my foundation comes from my dad in terms of that physicality and then being able to establish the run game.
If you could do that again in the wing team in the NFL today, oh, that'd be fun to watch.
That would be a good one.
All right, this is for you, Tony. You gotta dig deep in the crevices of that brain. This comes from Christopher Kelly, who's been a season ticket member now 23 years. And the question is this: what do you think is the greatest play in Jaguars history? Greatest play? Player history. Give me the greatest play, and then give me the greatest win in Jaguars history. Just adding that on this football. So I'm going to the greatest play, and I think you'll agree with this alone, is Morton Anderson missing the kick in 1996 from here's a Hall of Fame kicker. I mean, it's a chip shot from 32 yards. And the difference between us going on a magical run, really a series short of going to the Super Bowl, is he shanks it left. And we go up to Buffalo, and I think pretty much the rest of the history of that team in the 90s changed because of that kick. That's the one that jumps out of the oven. Hard to argue with that. Sometimes I would go back to that first win in Houston, though. First win in Houston, Desmond Howard taking the wide receiver screen to the house for the win was a big one, too. Yes, it was. All right, this is our last question of the evening. And And this is a very serious question. Very serious. Question comes from Chris Miller, who has been a 15-year season ticket member. And this is for James, and also for you, Liam. Have either of you taken a dip in the stadium pool yet? And if so, what kind of bathing suit were you wearing or not wearing?
That's gotta be for a special, that's coming at a special moment. All right, so hold me to it. When the time is right, we're heading to the pool.
I think his suit is that Jaguars print on my man right here. I think James's speedo is identical. I've seen, no, I've not seen it, sorry.
Oh, we'll take that for a special occasion. Go ahead and hold this to it. We'll take a dip when the time is right.
Last thing for me here, everything's great, you're undefeated, and now it's time to get hit in the mouth a little bit. And to face adversity, to face challenges, maybe that you don't foresee, to deal with injuries, to deal with pain, all the things that come along with the grind of the National Football League season. You guys ready?
You're right. I think at this point, these two guys next to me, the players in that building over there, they're ready to ride.
I can't wait for you to listen. Because you don't really find out what you're made of until you face it. And I got so much confidence in what we are made of as an organization. I'm looking forward to the testing. Because if you find out where the cracks are, you can address those and just get better. And the one thing that James said about when asked about being satisfied about the roster that we got, great teams, great organizations are never comfortable, are never satisfied, are always pushing to get better. And my whole life, adversity is the thing that keeps me uncomfortable and forces me to get better. And so I can't wait to face whatever in front of us, the 17 games, the opponents. Football's a tough game. Things do not go your way all the time. And in my experience, the great players, the great teams, the great coaches, the great organizations stare right in the face and go right into it and come out the other side better than they were before. So bring it on.
Hey, big round of applause for the three here. David Cole, Tony Selly, James Langston, big round of applause. Thank them for coming out and getting schedule. Thank you very much, and thank you guys for being Jaguar fans, and I can't wait for the home opener. Next weekend against the Carolina Panthers, 1 o'clock kickoff. We'll see you guys then.